I really wanted this to be good, but I don't really know what is happening. I mean, when A Day to Remember released You're Welcome in, 2021, I kind of said, look, it can only go up from here, and I guess you can say with this new album they have titled Big Ole Album Volume 1, that it did get better, but only slightly. Because the thing with the last Day to Remember record was it was so all over the place and they kind of lost their identity that it was almost unlistenable. This time around they do bring back some decent elements, but it doesn't necessarily save the album from being what it is. My favorite tracks, Make It Make Sense. That's a great kickoff, kind of throws you back to old A Day to Remember, kind of something you would expect from them. All My Friends is a little cheesy, but again, kind of reminds you of what A Day to Remember is sound-wise. To the Death, obviously, that's like that one like heavy song that they usually have where it just like punches you right in the face from beginning to end. They had that on the song Bad Friend on the last record. And then of course there's Miracle. Now this single's been out for a while, so my only gripe with it is I think bands and artists need to stop releasing singles to upcoming albums 2 to 2.5 to sometimes 3 years or more before they even release it, because this is a single that I like. I used to love it, but I've heard it so many times. But again, I haven't heard it enough like the other ones, so it's still a favorite of mine. It's just kind of getting a little tiring. And then Same Team is also a nice song. Then is when we kind of get to the down portion of the album, because even these okay tracks don't save it from being passable any means. I mean, Bad Blood, Flowers, Die For Me, Closer Than You Think. Again, they're all very, either they start slow or they just don't have any semblance of identity to them at all. And then when we get to my least favorite, Feedback, I remember when they released that as a single, I said, oh Lord, it's You're Welcome all over again. I couldn't help but laugh as to how just pitifully bad it was. It was like they were responding to what people had to say about their last album, but they were doing it in the most cringeworthy way possible. Then we have LeBron, which obviously the title is named after the NBA basketball player LeBron James, because he is the ageless one, seen as potentially one of the GOATs in basketball of all time, depending on who you ask. And I guess A Day to Remember is kind of like looking at themselves like, we've been around for a long time. We're aging like LeBron, which, I mean, you kind of are, because at this point in time, you're having trouble carrying yourselves and, you know, the team that you play for, that you're starting to show your age a little bit, and even though your relevancy hasn't fully fallen, people aren't looking at you as one of the greats anymore. So I guess it's an appropriate title to a song. And then we have the song Silence, which just, what in the Godsmack is this? I don't know why I was getting Godsmack vibes listening to it. Like, it's got some decent moments, but outside of that, the whole song in general is just like, oh my god, they are trying to copy and paste other artists now. Like, it just felt so unoriginal and not that enjoyable, and I just don't know what to say. This band has fallen from grace so much. I mean, they released Common Courtesy in 2013, and they might as well just should have stopped making albums from there, because, you know, Bad Vibrations was decent enough, but now that we've gotten 2 duds in a row, and the fact that this is volume 1 of a potential series of albums, I'm kind of scared to see what volume 2 will have to offer when it comes to that. Another thing I will give this album is the production is fine, it's decent, and at least Jeremy McKinnon's voice is still, like, actually good. He can still, you know, do the whole, you know, emo singing thing and then give you a growl and a scream, so at least that's not, like, a bad part. Like, I'm not listening to some sort of, like, what's it called? Not Cannibal Corpse. Who was the guy that used to sing for Cannibal Corpse? And he's got that band, 6 Feet Under, where his vocals just keep getting progressively worse, and you're just like, okay, this is a meme at this point. At least Jeremy McKinnon has been able to keep his voice in check and keep it to a time in his career now spanning about 20 years where it hasn't really changed much, and that's a good thing because he's a solid vocalist in itself. Overall, with this album, again, it's just slightly better than You're Welcome, but that doesn't make it great. As a matter of fact, I'm split right down the middle, 5 out of 10 with this thing. I can't rank it any lower, but I can't rank it any higher because as much as I don't like it, I also don't hate it. I like certain portions of this album, but outside of maybe a song like Miracle and Make It Make Sense, there's not a lot that I'm going to come back to on this record. And I would dare say that maybe even You're Welcome had a couple more songs that grew on me as I listened to them, but outside of that, this one is just, it's not as weird, but it's just more disappointing because I was expecting a turnaround. When I heard Miracle, I said, the band can definitely reel us back in, and for the most part, they didn't do that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but this was not what I was expecting at all, and I'm disappointed by it. So that's my thoughts. You can tell me in the comments below what did you think, but until then, stay safe out there, and I will catch you all in the next one.